We wish to welcome you in the annual conference of the Institute for Palestine Studies. I'm Omar Tistan, a professor at the Department of Geography at Birzeit University, and I am honored to have been the academic coordinator of this conference. I wish in the beginning to welcome you all. The conference is the second time that we address the issue of Jordan Valley and Area C. The last conference was in 2012, and it addressed the issue of Jordan Valley and Area C. And following long discussions, we decided as Institute for Palestine Studies to retackle the same issue because of the importance of this area for the Palestinian National Project and because of the new measures unilaterally taken by Israel about the annexation of these areas in the West Bank and Jordan Valley. So I wish to welcome you, and I will give the floor to Khalid Faraj to speak on behalf of the Institute. Khalid, you have the floor. Good morning. The conference was supposed to be inaugurated by sound. I lost the sound. Someone who has emergency medical condition. I'm Khalid Faraj, Director General of the Institute for Palestine Studies. I wish to welcome you on behalf of IPS. And I have to remind you, I'm sure that you all remember, today is the 101st anniversary of the Balfour Declaration, which is the... I'm losing the sound. مش واصل الصوت.
اوكي هلا رجعت.
The IPS is trying to address this issue so that it be part of the political, public, and national discussions and agenda. This is for this conference. Before that, we organized several conferences about the correlation between the Palestinian areas occupied in 1948 to the Palestinian National Project. We held several conferences about Jerusalem, and I mean that these are specific issues that are pushed to the Palestinian national agenda, which we push to the Palestinian national agenda for general discussion and public discussion so that we can revisit them all the time. This conference about the reality in Jordan Valley and Area C is the second conference, as already said by Dr. Omar, and the purpose of readdressing this issue is the increasing pace of Judaization of the Jordan Valley, which may equate the pace of the Judaization of Jerusalem itself. The Jordan Valley's features have completely changed. The Judaization is accelerated at militarily, civil, agricultural, and other levels, very strikingly, to the extent that we are about to lose these areas. All of the battle in Al-Khan al-Ahmar, the bulldozers did not stop in the middle or north of the Jordan valleys or at the Dead Sea. So the colonizers' interest in the Jordan Valley is not less important than Jerusalem. Therefore, we decided to focus once again on the Jordan Valley so that it can be part of the public discussion more intensively and more effectively. In the IPS, in addition to this issue, this year was very busy and hectic. Many events took place over this year, including the transfer of the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem, the approbation of the Jewish nation-state law, and the deal of the century. And for the next, I'm sorry, we're losing the sound. In this very hall a month ago, there was a lecture after in 3 days there will be a symposium about the geopolitical dimensions of the gas discoveries in the Mediterranean Sea. The new gas fields between Cyprus and Haifa and Lebanon at the southern coast of Lebanon. In addition to being natural resources and wealth for these countries, these are also sources of future conflict. So the conference will address this issue, and it will be the third of this kind. In 2018, IPS will release 14 publications addressing political, social, and historical and strategic issues. In 2 weeks from now, we will be celebrating the launching of our homeland Palestine encyclopedia by Mustafa Murad al-Dabbagh, which was published in the 1960s. The IPS has full publishers' rights from the family and the first publisher Dar al-Talia in Lebanon, and corrected the script entirely. It is 11 volumes that address the geography of Palestine. In 2 weeks, the encyclopedia will be released. I wish to thank on this occasion all of those who contributed to the success of this conference or to the organization of this conference. We will speak of the success later on because we still don't know where the conference is heading. I wish to thank Birzeit University of all of its departments and institutions, namely from Birzeit University, our colleague Asim Khalil and Majdi Al-Malki. The institute, since it established for the idea of its annual conference, organizes its annual conference at Birzeit University. The purpose is that the academic conference, its natural environment is the campus of a Palestinian university, and we are geographically closer to the Birzeit University. So I wish to thank Birzeit University for its continuing hosting of our conferences. My colleagues in the organization, Omar Tastal, Omar Fakhreddin, Salim Tamari, Abdurrahman Tamimi, Abdel Qassas, Ad Al-Mabhouh, Hada Shuaibi, Ala Jaradat, and Majdi Al-Malki, the organization committee, and volunteers from outside IPS, Jamil Awais, Hanan Zahran, Aisha Karaja Rostaha, and Abdul Qadir Awad. The IPS staff, فؤاد العكليك، لانا رنتيسي، ساندي أبو رحمة، حسام أبو ليل، زين عرقات، محمد الخالدي، محمد رزق، كارول خوري, and Walid Habas. Finally, I wish to thank the founders of the conference and the institute. They funded this conference in part, and they fund our activities at IPS, the Palestinian Telecommunication Company Paltel, Heinrich Böll Stiftung, the Arab Fund for Socio-Economic Development in Kuwait, the Palestinian Investment Fund, and the Qatar Fund for Development. Thank you to you all, and I wish you a successful conference.
Thank you. I would like to give the floor to Dr. Asim Khalil from Birzeit University. Dear colleagues at the Palestinian Studies Organization and dear partners and dear guests, we welcome you to Birzeit University. You and thank you for your interest in attending this conference today. Allow me to convey to you regards from the President of the University, Dr. Abdel Latif Abu Hajla, who is unable to attend because of his travel, and I'm really glad that he mandated me to inaugurate this conference on his behalf and to convey to you his regards and wishes that you find at Birzeit University wide space for your conference. Discussing the so-called C area that constitutes more than 60% of the West Bank area leads us to think of the Israeli colonialist settlement that is being practiced by Israel against our people and land in Palestine, in addition to the exclusion that citizens suffer in that area at different levels, in health, at the same time. It leads us to think of the steadfastness of people at that area. And in facing the designs for exclusion and displacement, then the Palestinians cannot not only have to think of attracting attention to that area, but rather to think of such a state of Palestinian conflict, ongoing conflict with Israeli occupation. And if colonialist literature leads to thinking of colonialists staying in colonized area, then thinking of the sea area as an eternal resistance area. So thinking of Al-Khan al-Ahmar and Masafir Yatta as examples is just an example of to the ugliness of that Israeli occupation and a bright side of the Palestinian resistance in the sea area that is more than 61% of the West Bank. The citizens in Al-Khan al-Ahmar, they face poverty and the Israeli pressures. Politically, dividing the land into A, B, and C is the strongest blow to the project of a future Palestinian state. What does it mean to have an independent state, or at least a viable state, over cantons that are contiguous or without any sovereignty over its residents, in addition to the division of the territory? So establishing any state in this form is a deformation of the concept of state and the identity of its residents, whereas the future of these areas remains under question in the absence of a comprehensive Palestinian plan to rein in the Israeli plans to take over the land and to expand Israeli settlements at the expense of Palestinian territories, a matter that led to doubling the Israeli settlers to more than threefold since Oslo Accords were signed. And in order for any national plan to succeed as related to sea area, then this plan has to give up the Oslo Accords or parts of them, the condition that this should be coupled with ongoing support for these areas and to stop its exclusion and prioritizing these areas. Academically, the sea area and the valleys area constitute a state of control tools by the Israeli settlers of groups that who came to stay. So the spatial replacement is something important for these groups, and so it's important for us as Palestinians to think of dismantling these policies and to develop as an emancipation movement as part of this thinking, which we hope out of this conference. I thank you for your presence and wish you every success. Thank you.